Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest-running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Good afternoon, Stewart, Martin County, and the world at large. And we're here.
Howdy, world at large.
Yes, I'm Frank, and I'm joined by a whole bunch of guys. And we're, I guess, we're the Amerria Mehan fan club.
Where is she anyway?
She's in India right now, and so we're trying to hold down the fort while Amerria is out on assignment. And but she was kind enough to send some interesting tidbits of information while she's in India so that we can kind of appreciate her observations. And first observation she made is they don't use toilet paper in India. So
back up the train.
Yeah.
What do they use, if anything?
Water. They have
bidets?
Some sort of a hose system, I guess. So I guess a bidet of some sort. And there's no traffic lights. It's every man for himself.
Wow.
So, okay. And every sign is written, and I guess in the native language and in English. And this
does it say beware of cows?
It may.
Sacred cow next crossing.
Yes, cow crossing, right? Sikhs carry swords everywhere. All right. Mm-hmm. And they are the exception to airport laws and security.
Is it concealed carry?
They're allowed.
That's a joke. How do you conceal a sword? Unless down your pants leg. And
Woo!
You better be careful.
Better not sit down. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm trying to catch up where I left off here. Their exception is to airport laws, so Sikhs can carry and go on a plane with a sword. Boy, there's an image for you.
They're like shish kebab,
right? And let's see now. So she says Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, is banned in India because there is an Indian board of censorship that censors movies for steaminess and too much violence.
Well, he killed the sword guy.
Yeah, he did.
That's the Gandhi restriction.
Right. Oh, that's Bob in the back there.
If the sword guy would have won, they wouldn't have banned it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, everything has to be PG-13 to be shown in the movie theaters, and they have and any of the movies have to show some sort of respect to India. So she did do a flyover Moscow on her flight from London.
Ooh.
They took Air India, and India has good relations with Russia and is neutral in the Russo-Ukrainian war, which is kind of true.
Isn't Russia PG over 13 right now?
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. Let's see now. Let's see if there's anything else. But yeah, so that is just her observations. But I thought the most humorous was the Sikhs can carry swords on an airplane. That's wow.
That's in case they have snakes on the airplane.
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta have something.
Shish kebab. Yikes. Ooh, wow. All right. So lots of stuff to talk about in the news. But before we go to the news, we can do a little bit of this day in history because, well, I guess
you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Reason. That's why.
That's the reason.
See, you got it.
Yeah.
You understand.
Frank's the boss.
Well, just for the moment.
Yeah, I know.
It's a fleeting moment.
The hour isn't over yet.
Well done.
Youth has its rewards.
Yeah. Okay. So today's title for the 20th of July remarks is "The Eagle Has Landed." On July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin floated high above the lifeless surface of the moon in a boxy four-legged landing vehicle named the Eagle. The radio hissed a loud voice, and a voice called across space from Mission Control in Houston, 250,000 miles away. You are go for powered descent. And the engine fired, and the fragile craft began its downward journey. And I actually have a little bit of sound from that too.
Who was the third astronaut?
Oh, Michael Collins.
Trivia question. Whenever.
You're asking Rocket Man. He knows.
That isn't collapsed too far, but it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There you go. So that was the comments that were heard around the world. I mean, think of all the TVs and they were all tuned in, no matter where you were in the world. Some, if you were alive then, you were tuned in.
I remember my dad yelling at us. We were playing outside at my grandmother and grandfather's house in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I would be 9 years. What year was this?
69.
69. So I was 9 years old, and Dad's yelling at us all because we didn't want to come in and watch it. We wanted to play, and he screamed at us. So we didn't really enjoy it as much as we should have, probably. But
yeah. Well, he was right to, because he wanted you to experience.
Oh,
history.
sure.
Yeah.
I understand it now.
Yeah. Exactly.
I forgot. It was a senior moment. I just skipped my mind entirely.
Well, okay, maybe it'll
come back to me at the end of the show. But
it's easier without the headphones that don't work.
Oh, well, that's what's holding it.
Why are we still wearing these?
That's what's holding it together.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it was an amazing. I was talking to Palm City Charlie before we went live on air. There, Mission Control had calculated there was a 5% probability of success, and yet those guys went.
And it was so close to the edge.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's what blew my mind.
right.
So they were right at the edge of a crater.
Yeah,
Had just one of those legs go
Yeah.
into the crater, they would never come home.
well, and they were out of. So the pre-landing sequence on the landing computer was they were 4 miles off their projected landing zone, and it was about to take them into a whole valley of boulders, which would not have been a good result. So he took Neil Armstrong was the pilot, so he took over control, and he it's kind of like a helicopter, flew it horizontally until he could find a clear area, and with no fuel left, safely landed.
Thank God.
The gauge had read empty.
There was a 5% chance that they wouldn't make it back.
There was a 5% chance that the mission wouldn't be successful. Something would fail during the course from launch to landing.
Wow. How did they find three guys with such bad marriages?
Yeah, right.
They had
Wow.
a drawing.
I'll go.
Bob, who invited you? Number one. And number two is, in today's world,
Yeah.
I wonder how many people would say it's a go,
Yeah.
knowing it's only 5% chance.
Yeah.
They would want guarantees
Oh yeah.
of some sort
Oh sure.
in today's world.
Oh yeah.
Back then, it was,
Or
like,
gift cards.
or gift cards. Back then, it was sort of like Marco Polo or Columbus type of atmosphere,
Yeah.
where you just went and found out what was to
Figured it out as-
figured it out as
Yeah.
you went.
Yeah.
In today's world, they want absolutes, and I said, never mind.
Yeah.
You know,
They're called
you got to
Morgan.
hold me back to this show. I'm getting PO'd after watching the Biden
Oh, you
testimony.
You were watching that.
I watched some of it. It's sickening.
Yeah.
It's-
the two IRS agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were really good.
They were excellent.
Very good.
They were very good. They were very well. They're
Top
that's,
notch.
yeah. I
they're-
mean, those are the people who should be running the shop, and they're not.
Yeah, we're
But-
not supposed to be babysitting Washington, D.C. in our retirement years every day. You know, we're supposed to trust the people there. And those two guys seem like you just said, the kind of guys we and women we want in D.C.
Right.
Yeah, right now it's a country club for power and money.
It seems that way. It seems that way. I guess so. Well, let's see if we can pull up some.
And throughout the hearings, all kept thinking was, how come this is just one way? It's
Right.
only one way that it is
Yeah.
experienced. It's only Republicans that get roasted and skewered and what have you.
Right.
Not what one Democrat, I guess, was the guy who did those forms to the FISA court, and he got
He was
got
the lawyer.
disbarred or something. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Right.
That's the only one I can that I can remember offhand.
Mhm.
Maybe these two other guys can fill in the blanks, but that's the only one I can remember.
They're going after the one guy with the beard who's a Democrat, gay,
Yes.
married to a guy,
Mhm.
Right.
and they're going after him.
Yeah.
You know, they eat their own
Well,
if you don't follow
toe the company
toe
line.
the company
The
line.
Democrats are all in. This is everything for them. Is right now. This is the election.
Yeah.
You know, and they can't get Trump back in there because there's so many people that would have went to jail if he would have been in for a second term. Stark, Strode, Page, Comey, Clapper. You name all these people that should be in jail, and neither side of that country club wants to affect their country club because they all do a lot of under the table things.
Has the statute of limitations run on those, or if he gets back in, can it be a clean sweep?
Well, he said
So,
he was going to pardon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His people,
Yeah.
but as far as bringing Strobe and those characters,
Stroke, Page, Comey, all of them
back in, because again, that's that one-sided approach.
You know, the thing is, it's a little bit like peeling an onion. So
Exactly.
when they thought they resolved most of that information, that was just some of the information. They hadn't peeled that onion deep enough yet. So now we're getting to more meat of the story, and we know people knew things that they said that they didn't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So so that should change the calculus, and maybe something that Congress would have to enact to allow them to go back and say, okay, if you knowingly obstructed justice, things that ran out the statute of limitations perhaps puts you back in fair game again.
Well, Stormy Daniels, they extended in New York, right? The statute of limitations to get Trump in there.
Right.
Well, the Democrats can do that.
Yeah.
It's in the rule book.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say,
and that was a local decision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wires are crossed here, guys.
What I wanted to say is Trump never went after Hillary. When he won, and we all knew, I mean, smashing the phones and all of that, he never went after her.
Yeah.
But he was kind of focused on, knew what was going on over in Ukraine and everything. He was getting too close to that. That's why everything hit the fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Interesting.
And it's going to get a little more interesting too.
It's going to get fun.
It's going to be fun, is right. So it's good to be alive.
I always wanted to be a Democrat because on election morning, I can't stay up and watch it. I'll find out in the morning.
Yeah.
But if you lose, you actually won.
Yeah.
If you win, you think you lost, but you actually won.
Yeah.
It's a win-win if you're a Democrat because you're uninformed and you're only going for your single issue that makes you vote Democrat or your wokeness or whatever.
Right.
I was going to say, if you saw some of the questioning by the Democrats, there was no intent of trying to find the truth. It was basically their soapbox that they could get on top of and just ramble on for 5 minutes. And some of the ideas expressed by these Democrats are just bizarre.
Well, and this may be a little bit off topic, but maybe not. The Democrat that sits on that committee, I think his name is Raskin.
Yeah.
Okay. He wears like some sort of skull.
Well, he had cancer.
He had cancer.
He had cancer.
I don't know what the backstory is.
Yeah.
My wife told because I had the same reaction as you. What the heck is that?
Well,
And then she said, well, he had, cancer. All right, well, we'll forgive him.
So it's skin cancer on his head?
Probably just he lost his
He
hair.
lost his hair.
He lost
I
his
don't.
hair.
In fact, you're right. I don't know the complete
Yeah.
backstory
Yeah.
as far as the cancer, but they said it was cancer.
Well, my wife's a news junkie. She, you know,
Okay.
and
So
she loves
she
Trump.
should be here.
She's a Trump.
Yeah,
How
us
come
three.
she-
We'll
how
take a
come-
walk. Let her get over here.
Yeah,
She'd fill us in on all the
I
facts.
voted for Trump twice.
Yeah.
I just want to win
Right.
this time. We've got to win.
Yeah. So that spurs another question. The way the prosecutorial work that's being done, all the different court cases that Trump has to attend,
Yes.
for all these different arrest warrants. And yet his fundraising is going up and his numbers are going up in the poll. What is that telling you as a informed voter?
Tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. I mean, you get that right down to the basic facts. Unfortunately, 49%, 48% still love his backside.
There you go.
Right.
It's not the 50%, but then again, we don't need 50% anymore. We don't need a plurality. Is that right? Majority or plurality? I don't know.
Yeah.
So we don't need that. He doesn't need that, but he needs his 49, 48%. And if he can get that, and you know something, if it wasn't for Trump, they would cower behind the curtains, and now would never see him again. He wears it like a badge of honor. He says, "Sue me again, bring it on. I don't care."
He's amazing.
He is. I was going to say I wouldn't sleep for months if I was in his position,
Right.
but he thrives on it. He
He
only
doesn't
sleeps
sleep
4
a lot.
hours a night
Yes,
anyway,
yes,
but that's
it's
another
2 hours a
story.
night.
But he thrives on it, and maybe after all is said, and done, well, as soon as he loses, all the claims will be dropped. So that's one thing.
I hope.
But if he
doesn't.
wins, he has the power of what did we call it before about letting people go?
Well, he
Pardon.
I don't
commuting
know.
sentences.
I don't know if he
pardonings and
can
so forth.
pardon himself. I don't know that.
I heard that they could.
Somebody
but,
said yes.
Yeah.
you know. But
Wow,
anyway,
really?
Yeah.
but if he does, so that adds another dimension to the whole process,
Right.
and another fear for the deep state, so to speak. And I just, as I say, does he need 4 more years, or does he need another 8 years? I think if he had 4 years, knowing what he knows now,
Yeah.
he'd be a fireball.
You know, it'd be interesting if he talked to RFK Jr. and said, "Let's work together," because he wants the closed border. The spending's out of control. He wants a balanced budget. He is the old school Kennedy Democrat, which is a hell of a lot better. So if Trump and Kennedy ran together, I mean, Kennedy would obviously have 8 more years, but it's a hell of a lot better than what we got now.
Politics makes strange bedfellows.
That would be an interesting ticket.
That would be funny.
That'd be an
Right.
interesting
That'd be good.
ticket.
Heck with this DeSantis thing. Get Kennedy in there and talk about
Trump was a
going full
Democrat
circle.
for a long time.
But he was in New York City, and
I'm a New
my wife and I
Yorker
were
too.
talking
I'm
about
a
that.
New Yorker too.
But how much money did he donate to the Democrats?
Oh,
He
spread
donated
it around.
a junk load
Yes.
of money to the Democrats,
Yes.
simply because that's where he was, and that's how he had to
Well,
get
he
a building
gave it
built.
equally to everybody.
He didn't give as much to the Republicans, but anyway, having
Yeah,
said that, he
yeah.
gave a lot to the
Oh,
Democrats.
absolutely.
Yeah, and he had to give to the mafia too to get all those buildings built because they owned all the damn unions.
Yes, fairly said. Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah. So they say he could actually be in jail.
Yeah.
And win the election.
Yes.
Then he can yell, "Guard, guard! I pardon myself. Open the thing. I got to go to the inauguration. I got 10 minutes. Let me out now."
I hope
Wouldn't that
so.
be
I
There's a
hope-
visual if I ever saw one.
Or the Oval could be in his cell.
Yeah. But can you imagine a debate between Biden mumbling and RFK Jr.,
won't.
which
They're
it's
not
not
gonna
his
let-
fault, but his voice is
They're not going to let Biden.
no, he's not going to be
debate
there.
it.
But
He's not gonna be
that's in
there.
a Democrat. What about the the general election. He's got to show up somewhere, some way,
well,
and they'll just juice him up with B12 shots or something. I don't know,
or cocaine.
or cocaine.
Did you see him talking to the Netanyahu yesterday?
No, it wasn't Netanyahu. It was his prime minister.
Prime
Yeah,
minister.
Netanyahu.
No, it wasn't
No.
Netanyahu.
Benjamin?
It was the president,
It
not
was
the.
the
President,
okay.
president.
And
Yeah.
he had a cheat sheet.
Right.
He had to have that.
And
And
he
he
couldn't
still
even
mumbled.
read. Still
He
mumbled.
still mumbled.
No, he
can't
had
even
his head down.
read.
He was falling asleep. I
Yeah.
think it was his cocaine.
Yeah, yeah.
Without it, he
It
can't
was
stay
wearing
awake.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. He needs,
So-
he needs to go down and score.
Do you, they were talking about Netanyahu when he went to the White House,
Yeah.
and Obama made him leave via the dumpster out back because he had a dinner coming, a bunch of people for dinner coming. Made him go out the service entrance past the dumpster.
Yeah, probably. That sounds
Wow.
like
He did.
Yeah,
They talk
I-
about it
I
all the
believe
time.
you.
Good.
I
God.
believe you.
He's whiz.
How classy.
Right?
Frank, getting back to
Yes.
the head of the show here, what's
Yeah.
going on? What
Oh,
else
yeah.
happened on?
I don't know, man.
Did
I
you
just-
forget already?
We devolved. So we devolved. So according to CNN, Florida's new standards for teaching Black history has sparked outrage. I don't know who with whom.
In other words,
Certainly
we're gonna
not the parents.
be teaching it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If they said it was, nobody, they're not going to say it's satisfactory. It's like any union shop. Give me $5, and then after you give them the $5, they'll ask for $6, and then after that it's $7. So nothing's going to satisfy them. They'll make an uproar about them. It'll still pass the legislature, and we're off to the races as far as calling him a racist.
according to Newsmax, was it Senator Chuck Grassley released an FBI document detailing alleged oligarch Biden bribery. Well, there is
Well,
A
there you go.
mouthful.
It's alleging.
Biden, the big guy, or
that.
Yeah, I heard that today.
And Schumer released this?
No,
No,
Grassley.
Grassley.
he's
Okay.
heading
Chuck
heads
Grassley.
the Senate.
No,
Yeah.
Schumer would probably want to sit
Yeah,
on.
that's why I was like shocked. Chuck Grassley. Okay.
Yeah.
He'd have
So-
given it to somebody from India for the going to the bathroom.
Wipe his whatever, his posterior with it. Yes.
Representative Grotham says that the whistleblowers risk much to expose the deep state. So this has been touched on in a lot of the media conversation about these whistleblowers. They really, they're out of a job. I mean, they have a job, but they don't.
They've already said that.
Yeah.
He collects his check every 2 weeks, and he's what do you
But
call
he's
it?
not allowed to do any work.
No,
No.
you can't touch a file. So, but they knew that going in,
Yeah.
and they sort of accepted that. So be it. But I admire him for doing it, and I always wonder, why do they keep Mr. X so private until the hearing?
No,
That
he
was
didn't
it.
want to be
he-
exposed until.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They're worried for their
No, I
lives.
realize that, but afraid of
Well, he finally decided, screw it, I'm going on.
Right.
You know?
is
Right.
that okay?
He
Yeah.
made that decision finally, and thank God.
Right. To support his
Backing up his buddy.
buddy, who is also really in the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
you
I'd
know?
be afraid, I mean, because DC is getting a little bit like, Soviet Union and China, and they say
death threats. right?
Bongino had a spot where he said the ambassador in DC or something to us from China, he wasn't for the Ukrainian war.
No.
And he's missing right now.
Whoops.
Yeah, he's missing, and he said there's too many things are going
fell
on.
in
Where
a
it
hole?
looks like they're going to strike at their neighbor there and get their property back in China,
Oh yeah.
Taiwan.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, we have a carrier, I think, or a
We have a carrier.
nuclear, and a nuclear sub.
Oh yeah, it's all
Yeah.
part of the group.
And they're
you
a
know.
little bit upset about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We got to have Trump come in there and talk. Hey,
I'll do it in
Get-
one day.
get the rocket man going.
Rocket Man on the phone.
Yeah, and get that guy out of there, the idiot that ran over there.
I don't think he should have said I can get Russia out of there in one day.
No.
Yeah, that's
No, that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of embellishment.
But it's
A couple of hours anyway.
Yeah.
It's definitely an eyebrow raiser.
Sure. Makes him the center of attention again.
Well, there you are.
Maybe a
That's
long
what
weekend.
it's all about.
Biden makes up stuff every damn day. Why can't I make up one little thing? So it took a week. I said one day.
Right.
Yeah, talking about making up things. The press. I mean, any thinking person would think the press should be nonpartisan. But when you listen to Biden say what he says, and the press ignore it, or say, "Oh, it's just Joe," or whatever the situation may be, you look at this press and you say, "What have we become?"
Oh, I know.
They even change things sometimes. I've actually caught where it's like, no, that's exactly not what happened.
Right.
But they'll tell a story.
So
we talked about our age, correct?
Mm.
I'm not going to say your age. I'm not going to say my age.
No.
My father even said
I knew
that the media, you might have, even said the media was partisan back in the 40s and the 50s. So it's not new.
Yeah,
it's just because of the number of stations that we have today, where the news gets out, that we are aware of what has been happening for over 50 years. Walter Cronkite, I mean, the guy was, if I'm not mistaken, was an ultra liberal.
He was.
Oh, yes, he was.
But he tried to do straight news.
He did.
Yes.
But on the side, he was, I let go of my wire. But on the side, you knew he was a liberal.
Yes.
And you can't keep your prejudices out of your day-to-day thing. He did a very good job. He was like a Tim Russer.
Right.
He was very good at it.
Yes.
But he was an ultra liberal, and so that's what I'm saying is that this news media partisanship has been occurring for over 50 years.
And that's the way he was.
And that's the way it was.
Hey, could you imagine being if you are just somebody that went through Ayers' woke education system, and you're one of these big shots on ABC, NBC, CBS, you name it, and for years you've been making a fool of yourself. It's got to be hard for them, even if they would like to come out now and be a whistleblower and say, "I can't believe how stupid I was." They're not going to do that.
It's tough.
You know, their pride is too high, and their egos are too high. Right. Those people.
Well, I was going to say, is my wire intact here?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm looking for a volunteer to toss it to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Okay.
Who wants to do the toss?
Here's Rocky and Bullwinkle.
All right.
And Natasha and
Bagmo.
Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
So that is the intro of a song that is being banned.
Oh yeah,
you guys want to talk about
country
it's
song?
a country song? Yes,
Because it's racist. How could that be?
it isn't.
Yeah.
But they want it banned because somebody decided this.
Yeah,
But it
'cause-
happened in front of a courthouse where somebody was hanged 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the reason why it's banned. And also, the man's taking of a song from a black artist of 40 years ago or 30 years ago.
He basically said, "Don't try this in a small town, or we'll kick your butt."
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's right.
so-
That's all it
yeah.
said.
Right.
And but was it Tracy Chapman
No, it's
was
not.
the African American artist who sang the song
Oh,
first.
it's Jason. Oh, okay.
No, the one who sang it now is
Yeah.
Jason Aldean,
Yeah.
right? But she sang it and she was happy with it. She gets royalties out of it, and
Right.
she's happy that it's being sung again.
Right.
But then again, as Greg Gutfeld will always say, they will see everything through a racist prism.
Yeah.
Everything and anything. So
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So that's going on. I mean, it's a big deal right now because, well, I guess there's not a whole lot to talk about
but CMT dropped it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
That's-
I would think they would
that's
hold
crazy.
firm
Well,
That's
this
crazy.
on
leads
this crap that's going on.
this leads to Chicago yesterday passing the no bail release.
Oh yeah, that's a brilliant.
Isn't that
move.
wonderful? They're in such good shape there right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all the
Sure.
killings every week. When I lived in Los Angeles, every day a couple of people would get killed, carjacked for their cars. Hell, they would even kill you for Air Jordans. You know,
How long
Kids.
ago was that?
this was I left. I got here in '93,
Wow.
and when I moved here, you don't carjack here because Granny can be packing. You know, and it helps.
It does help.
I
as
don't
a
want
deterrent.
that thing on my hip for everybody to try to take it or see it. I like them not knowing who's got a gun, and Granny might got one too.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. There you go. All right. So that's that. There's 7 wild moments from the government's big tech collusion hearing. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys have been following this. So the government reached out to all the big tech companies and says, there's going to be some Russian disinformation that's going to come out. We want you to be aware of it. And they sent out several notices to the big tech
What,
companies.
now
No,
or
no,
back when Biden's laptop?
But prior to the
During the election.
Okay.
and all of
right,
that.
right. And and sure enough, so there any and all of the reporting that went on got censored because it was a soft way to do censorship, right?
Right. Yep.
So
Plus, they shadow banned people. They shadow banned me on Twitter back then.
Yeah, they kicked me off for the longest time.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it
It
anymore.
took me a while to realize I was talking to myself for about a month or two.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
But he was agreeing with himself, so it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
He won every argument. You're
Yeah,
right. That's
I
right.
kind of like that guy.
I always like what they're talking about today is let's put the government in charge of AI.
Oh, God.
I can't understand AI. I don't think anybody in the government understands AI, but let's put them in charge of it.
Yeah.
Whether
What can go wrong?
What can go wrong here? I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
right,
Along with digital currency.
right.
Chameleon Harris, I call her. She tried to explain. Remember AI? Did you see that clip?
that was part of it.
2
yeah.
letters.
And then-
AI.
And then she informed us that transportation is about getting from one place to another.
Wow, who knew?
Yeah,
Really?
No.
yeah. It's
So
amazing.
NASA could be missing another rocket scientist when
Exactly.
she doesn't report to work there.
Let's just drop her off on the moon.
Oh my lordy. All right. So so part of that the hearing on Capitol Hill on Thursday today to examine the federal government's role in censoring Americans, the Missouri Biden case, the big tech collusion with out of control government agencies to silence speech. This is according to Town Hall. Held by select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government, allowed Americans and lawmakers to learn more about how the administrative state has attempted to make end runs around the Constitution to chill or outright censor the free expression of Americans. So, wow.
Yeah, they're just plain suppressed information.
And then again, before the ink is dried on anything they propose, somebody's run it, trying to beat the system. The Supreme Court comes down and said that the payment of college education for the kids, or like $10,000, $20,000 can be forgiven. They're trying to find a way to beat it already.
Yeah.
So it's whoever writes the history.
Oh no! Whoever wins the war
writes the history.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he got knocked down on this last bit, right? The $39 billion or something
by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he got.
But now he's going to do another end round.
I know he's trying.
Yeah. So
votes are expensive.
Votes are expensive,
aren't they?
Yeah.
And again, more expensive each year with inflation. But
across the dice will rush to
So-
cover.
this is the
They
one.
have Mr. Kennedy here because they want to protect his free speech. That they do not believe in American censorship. This is not the kind of free speech that I know of. The free speech that is protected by the Constitution's First Amendment. But free speech is not an absolute. The Supreme Court has stated that. And others' free speech that is allowed, hateful, abusive rhetoric, does not need to be promoted in the halls of the people's house.
Okay, so there you go.
She was also, I believe, she's the one who also talked about a two-tier justice system.
This is ranking member Stacey Plaskett, who's a Democrat from Vermont.
Right. And she talked about, I think she also talked about a two-tier system, two-tier justice system and the Republicans are putting it out for Biden, or I say Democrats, as compared to Trump/Republicans.
Right.
She made it as far as the well-to-do, the educated, and so forth, as far as compared to the lower socioeconomic grouping that she was trying to plead for.
It did used to be like that. It did used to be like that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, wealthy people could do anything because it was like that.
Right.
But it has changed.
Right.
But still, the wealthy people can get away with a lot of stuff.
Well, they can afford to hire people to cover them.
Sure, exactly.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, we're an evolutionary type of democratic republic. It's going to get better all the time.
I'm not saying that that's right, because it should be an equal justice system.
Right.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you're right. It was a complete, I apologize for using the term, but it was black and white back then, and it's been morphed into something more amenable to what we accept as a society today.
Well, what's going on, the way I see it, is people call it gaslighting. It's just they lie. Everything that the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are doing, they're doing it.
But we've come to accept the fact that their mouths are open, they're lying.
That's right.
If their lips are moving.
If their lips are moving, they're lying.
DC has become too big not to fail us. They always like to say too big
to fail. Yeah.
Yeah, like the banks.
Yeah.
DC is too big not to fail. They need to get it the hell out of DC and move and separate. 9/11 should have showed us that you shouldn't have the Pentagon and everything in one spot.
We'll be right back, so stick with us. We only have a few minutes left, so stick with us.
I'd like to see the Capitol.
We are back. You're listening to Treasure Coast Forum, and we thank you for sticking in there with us, hanging in, and all that. So I've got a little bit of information to read here from. This is from what is it? From Fox News. I want to make sure I got the source correct. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden allegedly coerced Burisma CEO Malaka Sevenetsky to pay them millions of dollars in exchange for their help in getting the Ukrainian prosecutor investigating the company fired. According to allegations contained in an unclassified FBI document released Thursday, Senator Chuck Grassley, Representative Republican from Iowa. Grassley said he released the document which describes an alleged criminal bribery scheme involving then Vice President Biden and a Ukrainian business executive so that the American people can read the document for themselves without the filter of politicians or bureaucrats. Isn't that refreshing?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that. That's
I
there.
hope there's no redactions.
No, I guess it's
No, just kidding.
no redactions. Well
All
done.
the names are redacted.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out.
Yeah, it's to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
The government in question is an FBI-generated FD Form 1023, which Grassley acquired via legally protected disclosures by the Justice Department whistleblowers, according to the senator's office. So there you go. See now, that FD23, a confidential human source reporting document reflects the FBI's interview with highly credible confidential source who detailed multiple meetings and conversations he or she had with the top executive Ukrainian natural gas firm Burisma Holdings over the course of several years, starting in 2015. Hunter Biden at the time sat on the board of Burisma. So there you go.
There's a
Wait a minute.
an FBI lady of color.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
your microphone died.
There's a. Can you hear her now?
Yeah.
There's a lady of color FBI agent that they have a video of that she works for Soros now, and she was part of that Ukraine Biden deal.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. How lovely. Yeah, your microphone's got a funny buzz going on.
That's me. I had to
He
smoke a
has a
joint
buzz.
before I got here.
You got a buzz going on. Got a buzz going on.
He's holding.
Okay.
I'll just be in the audience.
Yay! All right. Very good. So what else we want to bring to the floor? Anything else?
Hollywood.
Talk about Hollywood?
Yeah, they're not going to be having any new movies, and
Yeah.
they're going to be showing all reruns, and
Right.
I hope they stay away.
Yeah, it should be a while. Should be a while.
Do you think it'll be a while? I remember my father, always the wise man that he was. They used to have unions back then, very strong unions, and they used to go on strike all the time. And my father would always say, can you hear me?
Yeah.
They would always say, you would never recoup the losses that you lost during the strike.
Yes.
Never recoup them.
Right.
Now, is it the greater good that they fought for the next guy in line to make a living wage? I'm not sure.
Depends which side of the table you're on.
That's true. That's true.
My son is in a union. Railroads, Long Island Railroad.
Wow.
They
Okay.
make money. Oh,
It works, Bob.
yeah. Good old Bob.
Yeah.
Is he going to do Morse code?
Yeah. Did you know that the government stopped using Morse code about a year or two back?
Royalties or something?
Right.
We're not paying this anymore.
Do you remember the movie Independence Day?
Yeah.
Right? It was Morse code that saved the world because they were able to send the dot dashes globally.
Now it's AM radio.
Right.
Well, the Indians saved us in World War II, right?
Right.
With their
Oh, that's right.
secret
Well,
code.
the Mohawk rugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that they were the ones.
Hold
that-
on, guys.
They were
This conversation
sending
is
they were
going.
sending the information, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the talkers or the
Yes.
The Wind Talkers, but what was the tribe? Shoot.
World War II. Oh wow.
Now they own
I hope we don't
casinos,
have
probably.
Hope there's no Navajo in the audience. We're in trouble.
I think they were Navajo.
Code talkers.
Code
Yeah,
Talkers.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thank the Lord I thought of this.
That's right.
Because
Yes.
arrows going to be. The other day I was picking up mangoes,
Mhm.
and I got worried. I'm underneath the tree.
Yeah.
I almost got knocked out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, coconuts take
Oh.
out more people than sharks do. Just in case, if you're an actuary looking at the likelihood of somebody to get whacked,
I'm scared of a coconut tree now.
coconut trees will do more damage to
Thank
people than
I
sharks.
was this is a small, very short anecdotal story. I was walking down Singer Island
Okay.
with a basketball to go play basketball at a local court. This is when I was a lot fitter.
Couple weeks ago.
But a coconut fell from one of the taller trees,
Right.
bounced off the ball, and shot over there. And so it missed my head by that much.
Wow.
And falling from that far, you're
would've-
absolutely
it
right.
would've
It
killed
could
you.
do some damage.
It
Wow.
It probably would have killed
Well,
you.
not me, but that's
Did you have a
normal
hat
on?
I had a hat on,
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
but
Yeah.
hard-headed that I was.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
Wow.
Well, now that Hollywood's out of business for a while with everything, I think we ought to start putting ABC, NBC, and CBS on that Bud Light list of people to boycott.
Yes.
I think it's more like
So people are boycotting Target,
mhm,
the
Bud Light,
Bud Light,
Disney, some of them.
Disney.
There's a lot of people getting hurt
Yeah.
that work for Anheuser-Busch or whatever.
Right, yes.
And honestly, I wish they should have go back to work. And I don't drink anymore. It's been 8 years. But come on. Yeah, because you're hurting people.
Right.
But
That,
these news networks need to be punished. In the old days, they used to lie. Now it's more like he was saying, it's what they don't say, it's what they omit.
Mm.
It's what the people that aren't politically involved, like us here,
Mm.
they never get to know the truth, because it's just, when you talk to a lot of Democrats like I do, and I'm sure we've all heard this before, you'd say something and they say, where do you hear this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, because they were told not to watch Fox News. The teachers were teaching kids, do not watch Fox News. It's not real.
Right.
Tell your parents.
Fake news.
well,
yeah.
watch Newsmax. It's on Newsmax.
Now I watch Newsmax.
Yeah.
I like Newsmax.
I was going to say Newsmax grew 500% as
Oh,
a
yeah.
result of the debacle with Tucker Carlson.
Fox has lost
Not even that, it
33%
was,
of their audience right now.
Fox changed a lot.
Oh no, yeah.
So my
including
wife
that.
boycotted
They're
them.
still having
And I
trouble.
like Fox.
They're still
I
having
like
trouble
it.
getting the big advertisers, though. You
Yeah.
remember Fox in the beginning? They were showing you buy DVDs of Shirley Temple rerun movies and stuff. That's how Newsmax looks now. Everything's a wallet that
If
folds.
the My Pillow guy was strong
Oh,
back then,
yeah.
my God, he would have been
Yeah.
run away.
Boy, I tell you what, it's a lifetime sale, huh? My God, until the next lifetime sale.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like Elton John's last concert tour every year.
Yeah.
raise the profits.
All righty. Well,
Pretty soon that young lady will be back and straighten everybody out.
No,
Where is she? I'll go pick her up.
Yeah,
well, you got a long flight.
In India. Here I come.
they're going to
Yes.
keep her.
Yeah, I don't
She's
think-
Lady Gandhi.
Well, we thank you for joining us and being part of the show. And we look forward to visiting with you next week right here on Treasure Coast Forum. Thanks again.
Adios.
Hey.